Well, welcome everybody. My name is Pete Herron, and I am the BLET School Director here at Montgomery Community College. And this is my Assistant Director, Jeff Dorsett. And together we facilitate the BLET program here at Montgomery Community College. But I want to recognize folks on stage tonight and folks here in attendance. Dean Tracy Wire, this is Dr. Bledsoe, he's president of Montgomery Community College, and Lee Proctor, vice president of instruction here at Montgomery Community College. Also want to recognize trustees. It's a pleasure to have Ms. Bulltice with us tonight, and as always, I think you've been to every one of the graduations that we have done, and it's an honor to have you here tonight, Ms. Bulltice. Thank you for coming. I want to recognize our sponsoring agencies also. Here at Montgomery Community College and a number of other community colleges around the state, a student needs sponsorship to get into the program. That's a training and standards requirement for North Carolina. And what sponsorship means is that that agency is saying, hey, this is a good person, this is an upstanding citizen, and we think that they'll make a good law enforcement officer. So they write a letter to the school director saying that this person, we recommend them to come into the BLET program, and they also do a background investigation on them, check on them. One of several they get done before they come into the program. And what that sponsorship does in the community college system is it waives their tuition. So they come to community college here for the BLET program, it's tuition free. Now there's some other costs involved with books and uniforms and student fees and things like that, but that's a huge thing for the community college system, for the folks here at MCC, and for the sponsoring agencies to do that. We rely upon that heavily. So I want to recognize the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office sponsored several of the students this year, and Mike Kincannon, Sergeant Mike Kincannon, too, with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Randolph County Sheriff's Office also sponsored several students. Troy Police Department sponsored students, and Chief James Atkins and Assistant Chief Robbie Payne are here tonight also. Want to recognize Candor Police Department, Chief Jody Majors and Officer Justin George Fuller are in attendance tonight. Thank you for your sponsorship. We appreciate that. And Bisco Police Department, Lieutenant Tina Medlin and Lieutenant DJ Capel are in attendance also here tonight. Thank you, Bisco Police Department. Hamlet Police Department also sponsored a couple of students, as well as Asheboro and Randleman Police Department sponsored. So thank you to sponsoring agencies, and we look forward to continuing the relationship that we have here with the BLET program and local agencies within the county, and then outside the county also. We count on that sponsorship. I want to welcome you, families. This is about the graduates tonight, but it's also about you. And again, I want to just give you my heartfelt thanks for allowing and supporting your loved one over the last 7 months as they came through BLET. So welcome also. Also, we have some other guests in attendance. We have a dear friend of mine, Colonel of the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, John Evans, is in attendance. And he supported me, and it means the world, brother, to see you here again tonight. I'm a retired wildlife officer, and Captain Brandon Jones is also here in attendance. Brandon was in the district here, and then he was a sergeant, and just recently became a captain with the wildlife, and he's down there at recruit school, which is held at Summer Camp Manor, just outside of Candor. Darby Enoch, a local officer, wildlife officer, is also in attendance, and Darby helps out with several subjects here also. And great to have him, and Representative Captain from Lexington Police Department. Lexington is one of several agencies that have hired out of this class. And that's been a great thing, is this year, a lot of the students have jobs already lined up. They're either, most of the students have a job, or they're in that process of being hired. So appreciate Lexington Police Department and y'all coming in and recruiting out of the program. Thank you, and hope to continue that relationship. This year's class, it started on September 9th. But that's not the story. The story starts back in July with the prior class. In March, we got shut down. They had about a month left, I would say, about a month left of training. And the governor put into effect, as you all know, a state of emergency, and that shut the BLET program down. The students were in limbo of that class for up until June. In June, the decision was made to restart the BLET program and to finish that group. And we got through it. And that was a tough class. That was a great class. And they persevered and they graduated. And it was a great day in July when they graduated. I'm telling you, for them, for me, and it was a victory for our program here at Montgomery Community that we weathered that storm. So I'm thinking, right? Surely, in a pandemic, we're not going to have another class. So I'm sitting in my office, and for some reason I went up the hallway and I ran into Vice President Lee Proctor. And we talked about what a success rate that we had with the last class. And Lee said something along the lines of, Pete, let's do it again. Go ahead and start planning, let's put together a class. And I don't know if you noticed, Lee, but it looked like you poured a bucket of cold water over my head. My heart just about stopped, and I'm like, okay, sure, we can do this. And I went back to my office and look, I'm a Christian. I'm a born-again believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. And I went back and I do what believers do. I prayed. And I said, Lord, how in the world are we going to do this in a pandemic? And with the temperature being what it is towards law enforcement in our nation right now, how is anybody going to come into law enforcement? How is anybody going to come into BLET? And at that point, I just said, Lord, you have to take this program. I can't do it. There's no way that I can do this. I surrender it to you. I give it to you. You got it. You be the school director. I'm just going to work for you. We had the largest BLET class that we've ever had here at Montgomery Community College. We started with 22 students. That's a miracle. That wasn't an accident. That wasn't a fluke. Not only did we have 22 students, but we graduated the largest class that I can remember in a number of years. So I tell you that there's a story behind all this. And so I'm thinking, the first night of class on September 9th, why do they want to come into law enforcement now? What is their story? So the first night of class, we were in here, and I asked what I ask every class: will you please stand up, tell us your name, introduce yourself. And I added this year: why do you want to come into law enforcement? Why? And that was an easy question. I didn't even have to ask in years prior. But this year, why? Why would you come? And one after another, as they stood up, they said something along the lines of this: I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference. And I thought, how selfish of me. I got into law enforcement for a career, to support a family, because it's something that I had a passion for. But I never thought about coming to BLET during a pandemic, and when people hate us, hate law enforcement. Why? And they want to make a difference. And I tell you what, in my eyes, you all are way up here. Thank you. And I admire you. And I appreciate you all. And you persevered through 7 months of a pandemic. And you poured your heart and soul into this thing. And I appreciate you. And before we go into the certificates, I want to say one more thing. You families, this was one of the most respectful groups of individuals that me and Jeff have ever dealt with. Not one time was there drama that I knew of. Not one time did they ever talk back or were disrespectful. Yes, sir. That's what I heard. That's what Jeff heard on most given nights. they were willing to do anything. I'm going to tell you one more thing. I'm going to brag on one more thing. I know we got to get going. But here's this. We do a mandatory study hall the last 2 weeks after we finish our last class to prepare for the state exam. I've never had a group that organized themselves to have an additional study hall before the study hall. In a classroom, they ask me, you get us a classroom so we can have our own study hall. There's something special about this group. There's something special about them. And I don't know if we have the video working yet or not, but if you're a law enforcement agency out there, find out these folks right here that may not be working anywhere. This is a special group right here. I'm telling you. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to ask graduate Adrian Robson to lead us in prayer.
Let's pray. Most kind, gracious Heavenly Father God, Lord, we thank you for this time that you've given and divinely appointed under heaven, God, to come before you, God, to celebrate this night, Lord. Father, we thank you for the opportunity that you've given every single one of us, Lord, that you've placed a passion in our heart, Lord, to serve our communities, God. Father, more important, Lord, that you give us the courage, Father, to step out on faith, God. More important, that we would do a service that would be uplifting to your kingdom for your glory, God. Father, we ask that during this time you give us, Lord, Father, that you would just let your glory shine down every single one of us, Lord, Father, that you would just let your beings come from heaven, God. Father, we pray that you would just give every single person, every family, I bless their household, Father, every person who put in blood, sweat, and tears into this class, God. Father, I ask that you would just bless those who are speaking, Father, bless those who came, the families represented, the sponsorship, Lord. Father, for we know our calling is beyond these doors to help and make an impact and make a difference in our communities, to be the salt and the light of the Lord. We thank you, we praise you, we magnify you for your Son Jesus, and we pray all this in all God's children say. Amen.
Well, we have certificates to give out, special recognition. The first special recognition award we're going to give out is the Physical Fitness Award. And to give up the Physical Fitness Award is going to be Dean Tracy Waters. I'm turning it over to you, Tracy.
Thank you, Pete and Jeff, for all y'all do for our BLET program. I had the fortunate opportunity to teach this class one evening, and I've taught since 1994, basic law enforcement training. And I'll reiterate what Pete said. This is a very special group. But it is my honor to present the top Physical Fitness Award. BLET students at MCC completed 66 hours of physical fitness training. The MCC BLET physical fitness instructors for 2021 class were Darby Enid. Darby, can you stand? Dustin Hussey, that's Dustin, and Pete Heron. The 66 hours of instruction included 8 hours of classroom instruction on workout protocol, nutrition, and injury prevention. 3 fitness assessments, one at the beginning of BLET, another at the midpoint of the course, and one at the end. And I'm going to ask the students now, did any of you think you would not make it? You all knew you would make it? Yep, mainly because of the excellent instructors you have and your drive and desire to succeed. Among that was 51-hour physical training sessions starting in October of 2020 and ending in April of 2020 with the police officer's physical abilities test, POPAT. The POPAT, was that 2020 or 2021? When did they finish the POPAT? 21. The POPAT is an abilities test that incorporates multiple obstacles such as a 4-foot fence, a 175-pound drag dummy, 100-pound roll dummy, multiple sets of push-ups and running divided into 2 scenarios, chase and apprehension that must be completed in 6 minutes or less, and rescue that must be completed in 3 minutes or less. The top physical fitness award goes to the student with the highest overall fitness assessment score, combined with the fastest POPAT time. The top physical Physical Fitness Award in 2021 goes to Jose Cervantes. Congratulations.
Hey, look, hey, Andy, you got family? Come on up here, this is your time, you take pictures, come on up, this is your time. Kelly, where do you want me to stand? Yeah, I'm not quoted on it, Kelly. Well, you guys take off your masks while you get it. Yeah. I can't get it here though. If you want. No. Hey, congratulations, Jose. Yeah. Oh, the next award that we're gonna give out, I'm gonna tell you. Lee Proctor's gonna give this up to Vice President of Instruction. It's a top firearms award, and he's gonna go into more detail, but I'm gonna tell you something. Phenomenal, over the top firearms scores because of our top instructor here. Thank you.
It's nice to know that Pete was worried about the numbers. I was never worried about it. Pete always finds the numbers and finds good people. So I'm impressed that we were able to run all 7 months without having to shut down, and that everybody followed our protocols, and that we stayed safe. And that's the greatest thing. So that goes to you guys. Thank you very much for all your hard work. So BLET students at MCC complete 50 hours of law enforcement firearms training. Jeff is our instructor, and the instruction provided is as follows. 10 hours is spent in the classroom on lecture. 32 hours are conducted in live fire drills, practices, and qualifications of both day and evening conditions on the range. 8 hours are spent on combat shooting drills, practice, and qualification, again, both day and night competition. So to meet the requirements, firearms training students must qualify with a score of 70% in both day and night conditions on the BLET course, as well as 70% on the combat course. Each student will shoot over 1,000 rounds. I know I get the bill for the ammunition. While on the fire range for various distances, shooting positions, as well as under a strict time limit. The top firearms goes to the student with the highest qualification scores in both day and night and combat conditions combined. One thing Pete wanted to really point out in this group is that this year, more than half the class had an overall score of 93% or better. 2 students tied for the top firearms score this year. Both shot a 97.6, and the awards go to Connor Kendrick and Jose Cervantes. Congratulations.
If you're wondering, Connor and his family had a vacation planned during graduation, so Connor couldn't make it tonight. So But it was a joy having Connor in class, a great student, academically, tactically, physically, just really top level student. And he deserves all the accolades. And it's incredible that we would have a group like this that would shoot that high. That is a feat that I've never seen a BLET before. Yeah, no. So our last award tonight is going to be the academic award, and Dr. Bledsoe is going to give that award. Dr. Bledsoe.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate that. Good evening, graduates. It is certainly a pleasure to be able to join you in person. As Pete said, last year we weren't able to do this. It certainly broke our hearts not to be able to celebrate with everybody in person, and we know it's still not quite where we want it to be, but we're excited to at least be here together with each other tonight. As he said, it is my pleasure to recognize the academic award for this evening. And as an academic, administrator, and president, of course, academics is near and dear to my heart. You know, I want to see students challenged. I want to see them learn new skills, see them grow, see them excel. And this class has certainly done that. You folks have overcome insurmountable odds to be able to be here tonight, and I congratulate you. As we review all of this, let's think about what is involved in the academics for this program. It's over a 7-month period, as Pete said, a 7+ month period of rigorous instruction from numerous professionals in the field. During this, our students receive 688 hours of instruction that cover 37 subjects, including firearms, criminal law, physical endurance, driving, first responder training. And upon completion of all of that hard work, they have to go take a test on all of those subjects. They have to take a state exam, do 6 units, and they must pass with a score of 70% or better, and they cannot fail more than 2 sections. That is certainly a rigorous test, and to be here tonight, you folks have done very, very well. In fact, I would call that the definition of the word rigorous, because tonight we're seeing I believe one of the largest numbers I've ever seen tonight of 15 students who passed the exam, and that is certainly a credit to each of you, and it's a credit to your families. You know, each of you with them tonight had to support them over these several months. You had to be with them as they studied, as they came to school late, and so I congratulate you as a family, and congratulate you graduates, and I congratulate Pete, you and your faculty on such a wonderful class. And I am certainly proud of each of you. So as you can see, we've got an excellent group here tonight, and the competition for academic excellence is strong. But this year, the award goes to a student who had a combined test score of 93.8%, and that is certainly something to be proud of. So the recipient for the 2021 Award for Academics is Mr. Raymond Dawson. And at this time, it's my pleasure to actually deviate from our program this evening just a bit. And I'm going to recognize one of the students, Taylor Graves, who's going to give us a bit of a special presentation.
What great footsteps to follow behind. With Pete, Jeff, our instructors, well presented speeches that these fine gentlemen have presented us. But furthermore, good evening, everyone. My name is Taylor Graves. I'm one of tonight's graduates. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight, and also an honor to join you in recognizing a person who is very important to all of us, Mr. Pete Herring. Earlier this year, one of our classmates dropped out. He had been having a difficult time, and while we're all pulling for him, he decided it was best to leave the program. And after speaking with Mr. Pete Herring about it right after it happened and expressed my hope that the student would try to return again at a future time, Pete said, I'm going to stay in touch with him, not the other way around. And to make sure he knows he has what it takes, he will be back. I thought about that comment at the time. I spent many nights thinking about it, trying to go to sleep, and I still think about it now. What kind of person, what kind of teacher invests time and effort in people that leave a program? Here's a person who throughout their career has taken the time to help hundreds and hundreds of students realize their potential, no matter how long it takes. If they have to come back a second time, a third time, or a fourth time, he is still there for them. Pete Herring believes in people, and he clearly believes in second chances. He is exactly the kind of person we want in law enforcement, and exactly the kind of person we want teaching future officers. Like all of you, I feel fortunate to have crossed with Pete Herring. He has given me an up-close look at what it means to be successful in this profession. He leads through servitude, by putting other people before himself. He shows strength, character, and integrity. Clearly, he has been this kind of person for a long time, and in my journey as I seek to model his behavior, I wondered how I could start serving other people. And I don't have to tell you, I'm sure you already know, as you have family here, our textbooks are expensive. And to help cover the cost of the BLET students, I was trying to figure out what way I could do that. And there would also be a way for me to honor the commitment of our instructor. So the idea of a scholarship was born. I didn't know anything about a scholarship or how anything worked with a scholarship, but I prayed about it. And soon enough, I came in contact with a group of people here at the college and in our community that made this idea a reality. I'm so pleased to be able to announce the arrival of the Pete Herring Basic Law Enforcement Training Scholarship. It turns out there are quite a few people whose lives have been touched by Mr. Pete Herring. And this was just the vehicle we all needed to say as a thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pete Herring, for who you are and seeing the potential in all of us here tonight. The many who have come before us and those who will come after. You make a difference every single day and have changed many lives for the better, including mine.
Man, I was, y'all messed me up now. I had the whole night planned out. I thought I had notes and everything, and now, so I'm gonna read this if it's okay. My wife told me to. Montgomery Community College Foundation, in recognition of dedicated service to the community and the basic law enforcement training program at Montgomery Community College, it's an honor to recognize Pete Herring with an endowment scholarship named in his honor, the Pete Herring Basic Law Enforcement Training Merit Scholarship. This scholarship was initiated by the 2021 graduating class. I told you they were special. Of the Basic Law Enforcement Training Program, and was funded through their efforts in community support. And it's signed by Dr. BLET and that's so incredibly nice. I love y'all. Thank you so much. So we gave out the award, right? So we're going to give certificates now. Now you're official. So So Jeff's gonna help me, and we're gonna, as we call up each student, and we're gonna name off also their sponsoring agency. Daniel Berger is the first person in your program. Daniel is in the National Guard, and Daniel was away on military training. He couldn't make it tonight. Daniel was sponsored by the Randolph County Sheriff's Office.
Second graduate, the Dawson Clarence Cable. The sponsoring agency is the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
Mom, you can come on up here and take a picture if you'd like to.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this is Montgomery County. We're gonna relax and we're gonna enjoy ourselves and we're gonna recognize these graduates and we're just gonna let them take their time. And we're gonna let their loved ones take their time, get their photos made. This is all about them tonight, all about y'all. What a great accomplishment. The next recipient of the certificate is Angela Leanne Carter, and she was sponsored by Randolph County Sheriff's Office. Proud of you. Proud of you.
Next graduate, Jose Angel Cervantes, sponsored by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
Jose had gotten out of the Marine Corps just about a month before he came into BLET. So I came straight out of the Marine Corps, 2nd Marine Division at Camp Lejeune. He came straight into BLET and he's going straight into law enforcement now. Our next graduate is Homentino Reyes Cruz. He was sponsored by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. I've got a little story behind all of them, but I call him Tino, Homentino, out of the Marine Corps also. Had a good representation of military folks in the class this year. I work at the sheriff's office part-time, and so Javentino had come into the sheriff's office and was inquiring about basic law enforcement training program, and he said he was going to go to Randolph Community College. So I said, Javentino, I said, I don't know if they offer the GI Bill at Randolph Community College, and I said, but we do at Montgomery. So he called me back a few hours later, and I'm so glad, Tina, that you decided to come over here to Montgomery. And veterans, if you're a veteran and you get the GI Bill, you can come and make money. You actually get a stipend for coming to class in BLET. So it's a great deal for our veterans, and they deserve every single bit of what they get for their service to our country to get that GI Bill. So thank you, Tina, for coming to BLET here in Montgomery. Pleasure having you.
All right, our next graduate, Raymond Dawson Jr., sponsored by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
Our next graduate is Taylor Eugene Graves, and sponsored by Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
Bobby Alexander Hall, sponsored by Troy Police Department.
So Bobby's wife Carrie, come on up. Carrie came through last year. She was part of that class that came through last year. And Carrie was the deputy for the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. And so I'm incredibly proud of Carrie and Bobby and their accomplishments. I'm not going to say which one had a better academic score. Connor Kendrick would be our next graduate. Connor, of course, had gotten one of the Farm Arms Awards, and Connor's on a family vacation with his family and couldn't attend tonight, but I'll make sure that he gets a certificate.
Kyle Lee Martin, sponsored by Asheboro Police Department.
The next graduate is Hunter Lee Matthews, and he's sponsored by Bisco Police Department. Hunter works at 911 Dispatch Emergency Management here in Montgomery County, and he's also an EMT, and he works all the time. Whenever he's not doing that, he's riding along with Bisco Police Department. Proud to have you in the program. Thanks.
Jesse William Mullins, sponsored by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
Our next graduate is Adrian Dale Robson, sponsored by Hamilton Police Department.
Next graduate, Diana Carolina Thomas, sponsored by Hamlet Police Department.
And our last graduate tonight is Daniel Joseph Young, and he's sponsored by Randleman Police Department. At this time, if you look on the back of your programs, there's a police officer's prayer. And I'm going to ask Daniel, if he would, to lead us in that prayer.
Y'all just feel free to read along. Lord, I ask for courage. Courage to face and conquer my own fears. Courage to take me where others will not go. I ask for strength. Strength of body to protect others. And strength of spirit to lead others. I ask for dedication. Dedication to my job, to do it well. Dedication to my community, to keep it safe. Give me, Lord, concern for those who trust me, compassion for those who need me. Please, Lord, through it all, be at my side.
Thank you. In closing tonight, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the staff at Montgomery Community College, from Dr. Bledsoe down through the academic folks, down to the folks at finance and maintenance and student services. There's a lot that goes on to putting this program, and very little is Pete Herring. It's a lot of the behind the scenes folks helping me and supporting me. And I want to thank my wife for allowing me to be school director here and supporting me and encouraging me. And Nancy, I love you. Thank you so much. And I want to thank the instructors. A lot of them are standing back there right now, who take their time to come and just pour themselves into these students and expertise in whether it's firearms or subject control or physical fitness or constitutional law or sheriff's duties and responsibilities. Each of them has a calling to come back and to teach, and there's no way that I can facilitate this, but I can't teach it all. And thank you instructors. I appreciate you, Jeff. I appreciate you. Thanks for all you do and for supporting me and having my back and being there for me. I appreciate that. I really do. Families, thank you. Thank you for supporting your loved ones for 7 months, for being there and for being willing to allow them to go into the honorable profession of law enforcement in the times that we're living in right now. Thank you. And students, I say thank you. Thank you for the incredible kindness of this scholarship award that you gave me. Words can't express how much I think about each and every one of y'all. You were going to do great things. Remember that when you came into BLET, this is just one phase. You've learned academics, basically. We've done a little bit of scenario training, but for the most part, it's been academic. You'll leave now and get hired by your agencies, and you'll start a new phase of learning. And that phase of learning will be with a field training officer, someone that's experienced, and you'll go through a whole nother phase of training. And then you'll get off of your field training and you'll be assigned somewhere, and you'll be responsible, and you'll make good decisions, and you'll do what's right and what is good. And you'll serve your communities, and you'll do a great job, and you'll learn a lot by doing that, gaining experience. And before you know it, you'll be the field training officer, and you'll be the one that people are coming to ask for advice and to ask the questions to. And then you'll find yourself moving up into supervisory roles. And so your journey has just begun. I'm proud of each and every one of you, and you're going to do great things. I love you, and I'm always here for you if you need me. Thank you. You are dismissed.